sign language, an incredible bridge of communication for millions around the globe. But what happens when a well-meaning portrayal stumbles into controversy? That's exactly what happened with the K-drama When the Phone Rings. While it aimed to highlight the beauty of sign language, one particular scene from the premiere left viewers divided, and the backlash was intense. In episode 1, we're introduced to Hong Hee-ju, played by the talented Choi Soo-bin, as a sign language interpreter for a news program. Things take a comedic turn when a broadcast glitch freezes on Hee-ju's signing the word mountain. Sounds harmless, right? Unfortunately, some viewers misinterpreted the gesture as an obscene hand signal, sparking an unexpected wave of online outrage. Reactions poured in. While some defended the scene as a harmless joke, others felt it crossed the line. One comment stood out: mocking sign language is unacceptable. How could anyone think this was funny? Forums lit up with similar sentiments, pointing out a lack of sensitivity in portraying such an important communication tool. The drama went from lighthearted to controversial in record time. The backlash was swift, and so was the production team's response. In a statement released on November 29, they apologized, saying, "We deeply regret the lack of care in our depiction of sign language. There was no intention to mock or belittle this precious communication tool." A sincere sentiment, but for many it felt like too little, too late. They didn't stop there, though. The team openly admitted their shortcomings, saying, "We failed to properly research and portray the challenges faced by the deaf community and Korean Sign Language users. As we conclude the drama, we will strive to learn from this and prevent such mistakes in the future." It's rare to see such an earnest apology in the entertainment world, but was it enough to mend the damage? And also, this apology makes their silence in the finale's controversy that much louder. What makes this even more complex is the central role of sign language in the story. The drama uses it as a metaphor for emotional connection, showing how people can find understanding and love despite barriers. A beautiful concept, but sadly, the execution of this scene overshadowed the intention for many. Here's the thing: representation is powerful, but it requires care and sensitivity. When the Phone Rings tried to celebrate sign language but ended up offending the very community it sought to honor. It's a tough lesson for creators everywhere. Storytelling is a responsibility as much as it is an art. But if you thought this was the only controversy surrounding When the Phone Rings, think again. The drama's finale stirred up even bigger debates, touching on sensitive global issues and leaving fans divided. Stay tuned as we unpack everything that went down. While When the Phone Rings captivated viewers with its gripping suspense and heartfelt romance, its finale sparked a storm of controversy that overshadowed its success. The controversy centers around a pivotal scene in the finale where the fictional country, Baltimore, is accused of airstrikes against another fictional country, Israel. During this broadcast, Hong Hee-ju interprets the events via sign language, while reporter Na Yuri narrates the escalating tensions. Despite using fictional names, viewers immediately drew parallels between this storyline and the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This led to accusations of insensitivity and misrepresentation, with critics claiming the scene oversimplifies and distorts the complexities of the real-world issue. Many are now demanding accountability from director Park Sang-woo and screenwriter Kim Ji-woon, urging them to apologize, while others think the scene was completely unnecessary and out of context, so it should be taken down immediately. For anyone who hasn't watched it, it's better to just boycott it. We all know which country they mean. They don't even bother to cover it up, and they reveal the opposite of the facts that happened. A social media user commented, "Ismail and Baltimore with Korean hostages? It's a mockery of ongoing genocide in Gaza. What was that even?" Another chimed in. Adding to the outrage is the fact that this contentious subplot wasn't part of the original web novel, The Number You Have Dialed by Jeon Eum-nayo. Fans of the source material have expressed disappointment, arguing that this narrative shift was not only unnecessary but also harmful. One netizen remarked, "Apparently this part doesn't even exist in the novel? The writer and director should be held accountable for blatantly inserting propaganda." Another ex-user stated, "Since they were going fictional anyway, they should have chosen entirely different country names. "The parallels are glaring," another said. "As much as I love When the Phone Rings, this scene is straight up tone deaf and NBC should be held accountable for it. They need to cut that part and issue an apology ASAP, as such controversy will not only ruin the drama's reputation but will also harm the casts. Do your job properly." Seriously, the whole foreign politics part in the last episode was so unnecessary and cringe-giving, very much propaganda. A person added. Off-putting. Since they were going the fictional route anyway, they could have used much different-sounding country names. One could only surmise the intention, the stance behind the decision, a user mentioned. Social media erupted with demands for accountability. Fans have called on NBC and the drama's creators, director Park Sang-woo and screenwriter Kim Ji-woon, to apologize and remove the scene. Key points of criticism include: critics argue that the scene takes a political stance, aligning with one side of the conflict. Many pointed out that incorporating a storyline reminiscent of an ongoing humanitarian crisis was tone-deaf. Some fans expressed concerns that the backlash could overshadow the cast's performances and the show's success. One ex-user wrote, "This controversy could ruin the drama's reputation and harm the cast. NBC needs to act fast and address this." Despite the uproar, the show ended on a high note in terms of ratings. The finale achieved an impressive 8.6% nationwide viewership, the highest for the series. However, the controversy has cast a shadow over its success. While some fans have praised the series for its storytelling and emotional depth, others feel the finale undermined its legacy. One netizen commented, "It's sad because the drama was genuinely great. But this last-minute political subplot ruined it for me." Another added they should have kept the focus on the main storyline instead of veering into unnecessary territory. As of now, neither NBC nor the production team has issued an official statement addressing the backlash. Fans continue to demand action, with many calling for the scene to be removed and an apology issued. This controversy raises broader questions about the responsibility of creators in portraying sensitive topics. While fiction allows for creative freedom, it also comes with a responsibility to handle real-world parallels thoughtfully and respectfully. For When the Phone Rings, the decision to include this subplot may have been an attempt to add global stakes to its narrative. However, for many viewers, it felt misplaced and ill-considered, highlighting the fine line between creative risk-taking and cultural insensitivity. The finale of When the Phone Rings has left viewers divided, with its controversial subplot sparking heated debates online. While the show's creators have yet to address the backlash, the conversation surrounding the finale serves as a reminder of the power and responsibility of storytelling in shaping perceptions. What are your thoughts on the When the Phone Rings controversy? Was it a bold creative choice or an unnecessary misstep? Let us know in the comments below. The controversy surrounding When the Phone Rings raises an important question: how much responsibility do actors bear for the content of the dramas they star in? In this case, the backlash centers around the creative choices in the finale, not the performances themselves. Yoo Yun-suk, who portrayed Baek Sayeon, the youngest presidential spokesman, delivered a gripping performance that anchored the series' emotional depth and moral complexity. Choi Soo-bin's portrayal of Hong Hee-ju, a determined woman seeking answers amid danger, was equally compelling. Their chemistry and nuanced acting were critical to the show's success. However, some critics argue that by participating in scenes with controversial undertones, such as the broadcast depicting the fictional Paltama and Ismail, actors implicitly endorse the narrative, even if unintentionally. This sentiment raises questions about whether actors should scrutinize the scripts they accept or speak out against content they find problematic. But should the blame fall on the actors? Most industry insiders and viewers agree that actors have limited control over the creative process. They are hired to bring the director and writer's vision to life, often working within tight schedules and with limited knowledge of how individual scenes will be edited or perceived in the final product. In contrast, the director and screenwriter bear the lion's share of responsibility for the controversy. Park Sang-woo, director, and Kim Ji-woon, writer, made the deliberate choice to include the subplot involving the fictional conflict. Critics argue that this decision not only deviated from the source material, the number you have dialed, but also introduced unnecessary political undertones to an otherwise engaging thriller. It's worth noting that the fictionalized portrayal could have been crafted with greater sensitivity, or omitted entirely without detracting from the story. As creative leads, the director and writer are ultimately responsible for the messages conveyed in their work. Holding actors accountable for controversial storylines sets a precarious precedent. While high-profile actors like Lee Yun-suk and Choi Soo-bin wield some influence in choosing their roles, they rarely have the power to dictate script changes or override the creative direction. On the other hand, audiences increasingly expect actors to consider the broader implications of their projects. This expectation is especially relevant for veteran performers with significant clout, who may have the ability to question or challenge problematic elements during production. However, in cases where the controversy stems from post-production choices, such as the addition of politically charged subplots, actors may be blindsided just like the audience. They often see the final cut only after the public does, making it unfair to hold them fully accountable. The controversy surrounding When the Phone Rings serves as a stark reminder that storytelling is a collaborative process. While the burden of accountability primarily falls on directors and writers, actors also face scrutiny, particularly when their performances bring problematic narratives to life. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with the creators to craft stories that resonate without alienating audiences or oversimplifying complex issues. For actors, this incident highlights the growing need to engage with the cultural and political implications of the scripts they choose, especially in an increasingly globalized entertainment industry. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: the industry as a whole must strive for greater awareness and collaboration to avoid similar controversies in the future. I've done my best to remain neutral while unpacking this controversy, presenting what happened without letting personal biases cloud the discussion. The ending of When the Phone Rings undoubtedly left a mark, not just on the drama's reputation, but on the conversation surrounding it. While the final episode's controversial choices have understandably upset many, it's important to acknowledge the show's broader achievements. Yes, the finale damaged the drama, overshadowing what was otherwise an incredible story of love, resilience, and trust. But even with this blemish, I still stand by my belief that When the Phone Rings is the best romance drama of 2024. From the impeccable performances by Lee Yun-suk and Choi Soo-bin to the way the story captured emotional depth and high-stakes suspense, it's a show that deserves recognition for its strengths. In fact, I just might make a video arguing for why it holds that title despite the finale. So stay tuned for that, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did the ending change how you feel about the drama as a whole? Or do you still see it as one of the best romances of the year? Let's keep the discussion going, and as always, thank you for watching.